By November of 1897, they had decided that not only after providing shelter for their families, they decided the next most important thing was building a church. Prior to planning a church, an immigrant family was passing through going westward, and they had stopped here to rest with a child that was ill. The child passed away and was buried here, and this is the reason that they had chosen the site. A grave is unknown as to the location, but I would think it's probably very close to where the current cemetery is. At that time, in those early years, carried the mail. Anybody shipping cattle brought it to town, and they were loaded onto boxcars for shipment to Winnipeg. Any other material, building material like lumber or anything large, came by railway. In the early years, they used the Roseau River and the Red River for logging operations. But they would cut the logs over winter, bring them to the shores of the river, and in the springtime they would push them off the banks into the river when the rivers had risen in the time that they swell in the springtime with the melt. After the logs were all pushed off the banks, they would send a houseboat down the river, and any logs that got caught on the banks would be clawed back into the river and floated down to Winnipeg.
Well, that was what, over 80 years ago, eh? If not more. Well, there was north of here, well, there was a lot of people living north, and this farmer was going to get wood to the other side of the dike in the swamps. Well, you never go in the you'd never walk in there because you would go down and never come up, eh? So when he went to get wood, he never did come back with the horses and the sleigh, and they never found him. And they figured that's where he went down and never came up. Years ago, there was a lot of swamp lights, so, going around. They just go up and down, and you never try to touch it or follow it, because it will lead you somewhere, who knows where. But anyway, we were going one time, Mom and Dad. Well, at that time, there was no hydro, no vehicles. It was just horses and wagon, or buggy, whatever. And we were going to my cousin's place. And as we were driving along, there was trails. We're driving along, and all of a sudden, this light is coming down the road, towards us. Just goes up and down, up and down. And as it got closer, the horses started going further apart. As far apart as they could, because they were harnessed. Well, and my dad is trying to hold on to the reins, And it went past us, and it just kept going. And then the horses slowly come together, and we kept going.